Why do they keep working? You don't need to work. I'm fortunate not to have to work another day in my life, and yet I work harder today than I did when I had to work. Because what happens is you find something that's a mission, you find something that's fulfilling, you find something that feels these needs. It has nothing to do with money. And it's more fulfilling. The goal is not to never work again. The goal is make enough money so you never have to work, and then you walk different. Because then whatever you do it from a totally different place. That's part of a further conversation. But for right now, what I want you to really get, real simply is, if you and I are going to be effective, we have to have uncertainty also. How many follow this? Say aye.
Aye.
So what are the ways you get uncertainty or variety? Are there good ways? Are there neutral ways? Are there bad ways? Smoking a cigarette, eating excess food, drinking extra alcohol. I have no judgment, but you know how you feel afterwards. But in the moment it works because it gives you certainty, you can be comfortable, and alcohol, all those things change your state. So what I want you to get though is all these things, there's nothing wrong with any of them, but they all have some price and you have to, it's a trade-off, right? It'd be really nice to know lots of ways that have no side effects for you to be able to do as well, so you have more choices. And by the way, can you meet both these needs simultaneously, certainty and uncertainty? If you do, if you meet one need by doing something, one need by a relationship, one need by a conversation, if you only fill one need for your customers, you'll have people that are interested in what you do a little bit. If you meet two needs, now they start to really be engaged. Anytime your brain links up that by doing something, thinking something, or feeling something, that it meets at least three of your needs, you'll become addicted to that thought, that feeling, that emotion, that belief, that action, I don't care what it is. And by the way, can we have positive addictions? Are there people that meet three or four of their needs for certainty and being significant and unique and special and connected through exercise, for example? Is that possible, yes or no? In fact, whenever you do something regularly, it's not willpower, because willpower never lasts. What lasts is being more fulfilled. When something fulfills you, it's effortless to make it happen. And when it meets at least three needs, it starts to become effortless. So I'll give you an example of meeting two needs. How many of you have ever rented a movie you've already seen? Raise your hand. Get a life. Now, I've done it too. Why would we rent a movie we've already seen? Because we've seen it, so we're certain it's what? Good, but we haven't seen it long enough. We're hoping you forgot enough shit. There's still variety. Who's done this before? Raise your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So you
Me
can meet
too.
more than one need. So what are our first two needs? Number one is the need for? Number two is the need for?
I'm recording this.
Awesome. Let's get down to number three. Number three is the need for a feeling of significance. To feel unique, to feel special, to feel important, to feel significant, to feel needed. All these are words of significance. To feel needed, to feel special, to feel important. By the way, who has the need to feel unique, special, important, or needed? Who has that need? Would you say who?
Everybody. All of us.
Every human being. What about somebody who says, I don't need to be special. I don't want to be special. Thous protest too much. They may not want too much attention because they're afraid then they'll be on the spot. But they absolutely want to feel unique and special. In fact, in an intimate relationship, if your partner ever starts thinking something or someone is more important than they are, that's the death rattle of pain in your relationship. And it could even be your kid, or it could be the coworkers, or God forbid, someone of the opposite sex or the same sex, depending upon what kind of relationship you're in, heterosexual or homosexual relationship or gay relationship. But if someone feels like something else is more important than them, more significant than them, then people start having breakdowns in their relationship. And it's easy to happen because the kids demand so much and you love your children, or your mission, your work demands so much, but this is the one that has to be managed. Now, how do you get significance? You get significance unlimited ways, just like you get certainty unlimited ways. You can do ways that are positive, negative, or neutral. So one way to be significant is to be a significant giver. Give more than anybody else, and you'll feel that specialness of being unique because you know you're a giver.
Yeah.
Another way to be significant is be meaner than everybody else. If everybody fears you, you're suddenly significant. There are people like, if you want to see significance, you can go to some parts of town, and if all of a sudden somebody comes by and boom, they put a gun to your head, you didn't know them a moment ago. How significant are they in your life right now on a 0 to 10 scale when they put a gun to your head, this stranger?
20.
Where would you put it, 0 to 10? Yeah, it's 1,000,000. Is it true? And so the person is reinforced because they know every time I pull out a gun, people respond with certainty to me. I'm certain they're going to respond. How significant am I? I am life and death significant. So for someone who feels insignificant, violence is the fastest and cheapest way to get significance back.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it destroys them and other people. But we've had it for humanity's history, and we'll always have it unless we wake up and have a consciousness change. Because it's so cheap and it's so easy. Here's what you need to know. Men will die for significance. It has to do with testosterone. There are women today that have men's disease that might die for significance too. But of these 6 needs, we all find one we specialize in that guides our life. If you're unconscious, it'll be significance for sure if you're male. If you're female, in the world we live in business, it's likely to become significance. And you'll have the same disease that men are fucked up by. And you can feel that you're just as good as men and just as fucked up as they are. So you get significance by working harder, you get significance by knowing box scores, you get significance by having a different way of dressing that's unique to you. Like you have a beautiful beard, right? I bet you put a lot of time and energy in that. And those glasses, right? He's hip, he's fucking hip, is he not? Right? Nice meeting you, right? So he's got his. But if you look beside him, 2 doors down, there's a man there with a very unique watch on his hand there. A watch clearly he's proud of. I can see the little smile he's hiding there. Thank you, sir. And it's a beautiful watch. It's a symbol of significance for him. We all have different ways of doing it. Some people do it by dressing down, going, I don't need to do this. Sam Walton used to always talk about how he never had a Mercedes and never needed one. He drove a truck. He never mentioned the Gulfstream jets he owned, but he talked about driving the truck. It's called a reverse ego symbol. It's like, I'm so special, I don't need to drive a nice car, bitch. Right? How many follow what I'm talking about here? Mm-hmm. So you can get significance by being giving, generous, by the way you dress, by being a hipster, by knowing box scores. There's unlimited ways, by using violence. But here's what you got to know. The minute your brain links up, if I do this stuff and it meets 3 needs, I'm going to keep doing it, including violence.
Wow.
And that's the scary part. That's the tough part. The good part is you can consciously shift how to meet your needs. There are 2 more needs. Let me tell you really what they are. So our first need is the need for what?
Significance.
Nice and loud. For what?
Certainty.
Certainly we can avoid pain, ideally be comfortable. Second need is the need for?
What's really going on?
Uncertainty. The other word for that would be variety. Variety is the what of life? Spice of life. Or another word for that would be surprise. Or another one for us, growth comes out of that. Third human need is the need to feel what?
Significant.
Significant. Who has that need?
All of us.
Everybody. Some people do it through sports, some do it by having no money, some have lots of money, some by being spiritual. We all find a way.
Oh,
Fourth human need, connection and love.
nice.
Who needs
Nice.
connection and love? Who?
Okay.
Everyone. The only
Awesome.
difference in people is certainty number 1, is uncertainty number 1,
Oh.
is significance number 1, or is love number 1.
CBD, THC.
Because
Oh,
that'll
I have to
completely
put
change how
on
you
my
live your life.
finger.
And I'll give you a clue.
Oh, that's
Most
nice.
people want love, but they first have to be
Okay.
significant enough that they
Maybe
allow themselves to feel they deserve
two
it.
fixes
before they
with
can
one
admit it.
application.
Or they want to have certain love that'll never go away. Which if you have certain
Oh,
love, you will
that's
suffocate
nice.
love.
That's a nice
The only
present.
certain love you probably have is your kids.
You know what? He
until
appreciates
they turn 16 and start fucking
little
with you.
thoughtful things like that more than anything.
Who knows
Because
what I'm
Kelly
talking
bought
about here?
him
Say I.
like a deodorant that is
So I want you to understand,
natural
a lot
with
of
the
people have better relationship with their
what
children
is
than their
that,
spouse because they think their
that-
children's
no,
love can't
ash?
leave because they're in a superior position with their children.
what is that?
And then they have a stage of life where many of them get jolted.
Acid and
And so that
magnesium
love
oil.
is weak love.
And it really works
Squeezing
if
the
you
love
put
out
it
of
on
your children
you.
is different than
3
loving your
days you
children.
will not. It will
Substituting your
keep
children for your
the
intimate love because
odor
you don't really have that fully
gone.
alive. It's not
Yeah,
fair to your
totally
kids or
natural.
you.
Yeah.
By billing a bet, who here has done this?
Huh?
I did it.
I
I
don't
did it.
know, I
had
haven't
4
smelled
kids
your
and
armpits.
I was in a relationship. My partner, I was not happy with her, but I didn't want to leave because I loved the kids so
recording this
much. And I
part
was
for
so
you.
scared.
How does my arm
If I leave, it's blood thicker than water because they weren't my blood children.
Right on.
I'm
Who here has
recording
ever
this
put
for us.
more demand
How do
on
they
your child
smell?
to love than you did my
Mom.
partner? Let me see your hands here.
How does my armpit
Yeah.
I'm
smell?
trying to
Break
record
that
this
pattern.
for us.
I'm trying to
That
let
breakage
him
won't give you
see
what you
you.
deserve.
This
Get
is-
So
sniff
connection
your
love. How
son's
do you
This
get
is so
connection love? What are the
important.
ways?
I
You get
know.
connection love through a fun conversation with
No,
somebody you
this
enjoy.
is not live. This is a video.
By the way, most people settle for connection because love scares
no,
them
this
too
one
much.
is video because
'Cause if I
he
go out
has
to really love, I
could
voice
only
on
get
his
what?
on his
Rejected, I could get
vocal
hurt, I
cords.
could lose love, and that
Almost
feels so
none
much
got
so
left.
most people settle for connection, which is like crumbs compared to real love.
Yeah.
But what are the ways you get it? You get it through friendship, You get into sports where you're together with other people
Number
and you
4
feel
is
this
love
love
and
for each
connection.
other, this camaraderie. No one
trying
knows
to
what I'm talking
record
about
this
from that
also,
experience,
but I don't have
right?
to write it
You
all.
can do it
So
as
you
part of your
can,
community.
send it
House
to you.
connection,
How
prayer,
awesome is
a
that?
walk in nature. Who's ever walked in nature and just
But
felt
you don't
connected to
understand.
God or the universe or something more than
This is
yourself?
our-
Say I.
This is our $1 million.
So there's all kinds of ways. You can
program.
also buy connection in a negative way. You get it by having a problem, which
Tell
is
you
what
the truth,
most
I
people
do have
do.
an iPod.
Huh?
Because if
I
you're
do
doing
have
really
it.
well, people like you for a
I have
while,
to
but if you
find
keep
it.
doing well
Right.
after a while, they get annoyed with you.
Yeah.
For tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the reason is they
plug your
decide,
phone and
we're
I'm not
recording.
doing as well, and rather than,
much as
you might
possible.
see them as an equal to you.
But I can't.
But the fact that you're a symbol of what they're not, they
Through
will tear
Facebook,
you
I
down
can
behind your
send it,
back,
but
they will write
some
shit,
of
they will do
the
shit. Who's
things
dealt
are
with this
too
before in your life? Raise your hand, say I.
You can share it with me.
Because they feel
whenever-
insignificant, so the only way to be significant is either work harder and find a way to
Dropbox.
improve yourself or tear the other
Yeah.
person down.
So you can.
If I tear
put
you
it
down,
in
I
and
have the
share
illusion I'm
file,
moving up
and I
even though
can
I'm not
upload
moving
and
anywhere.
Put it on my
And
external.
that's how the majority of people do it. So you get significance in positive ways, negative ways. You get love in positive
Yeah,
ways
it's
or negative
it's,
ways.
how you
Totally
call,
up
like
to
a
you. We
Bible
still got to
of
understand the
things
fundamentals. So let's see what we've
Make
learned.
you understand yourself.
Whatever people do, they have a reason. If Osama bin Laden is trying to kill people, he's got a reason. What needs was that man trying to meet? He didn't get on the plane and threaten his own life. Which need was driving him most? If you had to pick the top of his list, certainty, uncertainty, significance, or love, what would you say it is? Quick.
Uncertainty.
But the same thing was true of the firemen in 9/11 that went into that building, many of them knowing they may die. But they were willing to die for a significant cause. Yeah, let's have a hand for the men and women that did that. It's amazing.
We knew people in that building when they died.
Yeah, I know, but there were no planes.
Yeah.
So very
And
often when
it wa-
people do
Bin Laden
things,
was dead
we
before it
decide in
happened,
our
you know
head
that?
why they're doing it, and if we don't like them, we always come up with a negative reason. But we have a good reason for everything we do. So what I want you to do is uncover. Let me just point out, the first 4 needs, or 6, are the basic needs. What are they? Number 1 is what?
Certainty.
Nice and loud. Which one?
Certainty.
Number 2 is? Number 3 is?
Significance.
And number 4 is?
Love and
Connection and love. Which do most people settle for? Connection. The first 4 needs are the needs of your personality. And everyone in this room will find a way to get certain, even if you have to lie to yourself or work 20-hour days, you will find certainty. You will find variety, even if it's in creating lots of variety of problems. You will find a way to be significant. If you can't be significantly good, you'll be significantly what? Bad or have a significant
Okay, here's one more thing.
No one
Okay, you know, I
understands
just gotta
it's not
ask.
fixable, therefore it's
So
the most
I am
significant
a
problem of all.
major theater star.
Problems are the
just so
number
you
one
know.
way people
Somebody
get significant.
unmuted
And
themselves.
I'd like to know if you've seen
Yes.
the
Allows you to be liked for a while, but some people,
Somebody unmuted
after a while,
themselves.
you get tired of hearing about it.
I've seen the play
So the
on
first
Broadway.
4
that's
needs
it.
everybody meets. The only
Oh,
question
yeah.
is, you need them at
Very.
3s,
Did you
4s,
like
5s, or
it?
10s.
Very
Are you
much.
eating them in a way
Very
that's attainable
quiet.
or
I
sustainable?
went last year.
Meaning, it's not sustainable
Halloween,
if it's not
nothing.
good for you and for others.
Wow, look at you.
And Pam, you've
Final
Come on.
needs are the spiritual needs. When I say spiritual, I do not mean religious. I mean
Somebody hacked
years
in.
ago, and then when it came on Disney, I watched it as well.
In
And
spirit.
we had Leslie Odom Jr. sing, perform,
You
and
feel
speak
the
at
spiritual side of your life, regardless.
Oh, my God,
And the
dear.
spiritual side that makes us fulfilled. Number 5,
Oh,
in the need, you must grow.
Yes.
We talked about it earlier. You grow or you
He is
let
what we
things
call
go.
chocolate.
There's no in between, there's no plateau. If your relationship's not growing, it's dying. If your business
Yeah,
is
I
not
just
growing,
made
it's
that up.
dying.
I just made it
You don't
up.
want to lie to yourself.
You use that one.
Oh my God.
There is no plateau. Secondly, though, we
Wow,
gotta
that's
grow,
such a
but the
great
reason we grow is we have
play.
something
My
to give.
God. So, honey, have you seen it or no?
Remember I said when we suffer, it's because we're focused on ourselves.
Because I know we said it
And many of us
entertainment
beat
stuff.
ourselves up at times. You might say, I'm a selfish
See what
person.
you-
You might be
Like, wait,
selfish in
that's
the
awesome.
moment.
Yeah, I saw that
Most
too.
humans
It
are
was
not selfish
hilarious.
long-term, the vast majority, other than psychopaths. And the bottom line, if people you don't like, you like them,
And I'm not.
but they're probably not.
Sam, did you say you
It's
saw
something
it?
that we're wired differently. I'll prove it to you. How many of you, the first thing that happens when you experience
What the
something
hell
you
is
love,
wrong with
something
people?
that's
Finally.
magical, how many of you immediately want to go share it with somebody you love? Let me see your hands. Raise your hand if that's true. A selfish person wouldn't give a shit. In fact, you're addicted to it because we're social creatures. Even if you think you're an unsocial person, we're still social creatures. We don't do well in solitary confinement.
Like he had
Right?
2
We're
hours
social.
of
We need some
massage.
form of connection.
He felt like
And
a
the
wet
reason you want to
noodle.
go share with somebody is when you share with someone, does the energy increase in
And
you or
then he gave
decrease when you
himself
share? Which one?
Food
Does the pleasure go up or down?
pedicure.
Which one?
Oh,
And that's because we're wired to grow and give. People that meet the first four needs are still very often on medication and things because they're not growing enough and they're not giving. And now they're stuck in a model where someone is literally suppressing their emotions, including disappointment, which is necessary for you to want to do something different. How many follow what I'm talking about here? Say aye. So growing and giving, growth and
Aye, aye,
contribution
Captain.
are number 5 and number 6. Now, I want to show you something really quick. We'll do a quick exercise, and that's this. Whatever people do, they have a reason, but they're not equal. For someone whose certainty is their number one driving force, they're gonna be heading this way for certainty. Someone who has uncertainty as driving force is gonna be heading this way. Boom, they're coming straight at it. How many follow the difference? Right? And the direction you're heading, the need you're trying to meet is like true north. The direction you're heading determines your ultimate destination or destiny. So we know, once I know the top 2 needs of any human being, I know the problems they have, I know the opportunities they have, I know their strengths, I know their weaknesses. And I want to give you this shortcut because I use it every day of my life. As part of how I built 31 companies up to 5 billion is because it's all people. And I know what to do. I know how to lead, I know how to inspire, I know what to do to help people break through problems. And all that is really pragmatic, practical psychology. Not looking at things and judging it, looking at what's needed and creating the shift. Does this make sense?
Perfect.
don't need it.
Yeah.